The 90s was a time where rappers couldn't use Twitter and Instagram stories for their beefs or issues with other rappers. Everything was laid down in the booth and, in some cases, taken to a physical level when the people involved came face to face. Hip-hop was being elevated by raw beats and dope bars, and the music was where most artists settled their differences. During this time, Mobb Deep was one of the most celebrated hip-hop acts, with their gritty production and lyricism that told of their lives in Queensbridge, New York. Mobb Deep had their fair share of beefs throughout their career, with one being a part of the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry. In this video, we'll take a look at the many beefs that plagued the group, including one that may surprise you. So grab a snack and get comfy, cause this is gonna be a good one. Snoop Dogg and the Dogg Pound. While your mom probably enjoys seeing Snoop Dogg do side quests like covering the Olympics, it's well known that his long career began in the hip-hop world. Along with Dr. Dre, they brought the West Coast sound to the masses. While the 90s continued to be seen as the best time for the genre, it was also the time where the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry began. Mobb Deep found themselves at odds with Snoop and the Dogg Pound in 1995 over something that actually involved another hip-hop legend, Biggie Smalls. The track New York, New York was released by the Dogg Pound and Snoop in September 1995 and was not a diss lyrically. It was actually a respectful homage to the New York rap scene, but the circumstances surrounding the music video sparked tensions. During the day of the video shoot, Snoop Dogg told of how he and his crew were shot at by New York residents after being prompted by a phone call to Hot 97 from Biggie. This completely caught Snoop off guard because before he even got there, he said he had nothing but love for the state and invited other artists from there to be in the video. After this happened, Snoop and his crew added more scenes for the video, which included CGI footage of them knocking over buildings and stomping on cars in the city. There's also an intro with Snoop Dogg mimicking, or at least referencing, New York lingo. Mobb Deep's response to this situation was jumping on the track LA LA, which had Prodigy on the chorus and verses from Capone and Noriega and Tragedy Gaddafi. It was released in April 1996.
LA, LA, big city of dreams, but everything in LA ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you come from out of town, cause we coming from Queens.
The track flipped the chorus of New York, New York, and the music video features two people in Los Angeles Dodgers hats, which some fans speculated were supposed to represent Daz Dillinger and Corrupt getting kidnapped, with one getting thrown off the top of a building and the other, essentially, getting tortured to death. The corpse of the latter is then thrown off the Queensboro Bridge. Fortunately, the beef was settled, and Mobb Deep made two songs with Snoop Dogg called Thou Shalt Not Kill and Get Down. Tupac. Tupac was another legendary artist that Mobb Deep had beef with. In fact, in an interview with Vlad TV, Prodigy shared he didn't like Tupac initially from a musical standpoint until the beef began.
New York rapper he could think of.
To tell you the truth, I never liked Tupac until I liked songs like Hope Keep Your Head Up. That was cool, you know what I'm saying? But Keep Your Head Up wasn't what Mobb Deep was doing. Mobb Deep was on some gangster shit, you know what I'm saying? So you got Keep Your Head Up, alright, cool. And I know he had his hardcore records back then too, but we wasn't into that. That's the truth. Nobody was like into that in our neighborhood. So, I actually didn't start liking Pac until he started dissing us. Like with Hit 'Em Up and Hail Mary. Those were records that were more like Mobb Deep records. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started, oh, this shit, he going at us. I like this right here. You know what I'm saying? So.
However, Tupac took things to a personal level, something that still remains debatable when it comes to rap beef. Not long after the situation with Snoop Dogg in 1996, Tupac dropped Hit 'Em Up, which is one of the most, if not the most, popular diss track of all time. In addition to name-dropping several other artists like Biggie, Tupac calls out Mobb Deep and mentions Prodigy's sickle cell disease.
Yeah, Mobb Deep, you wanna f with us? You little young ass motherfucker. Don't one of you got sickle cell or something? You f with me around have a seizure or heart attack. You better back the f up before you get smacked the f up.
Prodigy and Havoc both had their own reasoning and perspective when this happened. In an interview on the Math Hoffa YouTube channel, Havoc shared that He felt honored to have even been mentioned by Tupac at that time. Meanwhile, on Vlad TV, Prodigy shared that he only viewed it as Tupac wanting to prove himself to Death Row.
So I guess he felt like he was the one that had to step up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be the one that's gonna go at all these and I'm gonna show my loyalty to Death Row since I'm new over here and we're gonna make it happen right now. That is war.
Still, a diss is a diss, and Mobb Deep responded to it with Drop a Gem on Him, which mentions the rumor of Tupac getting in jail, warning him not to continue talking about New York, getting shot in the head twice, and more.
But you yell my name, that's only giving me props. Plus the fans that you got, whether it was got you high. It's 2-9, knocked out the box and got rock, got raped on the island, you officially died.
This track actually dropped days before Tupac was shot and killed, which, looking back on it, makes it even more ominous. Out of respect for his family, Mobb Deep pulled the single from the radio, but it was still on the album, along with In the Long Run, which had other shots at Tupac. However, Tupac sent shots of his own on Bomb First.
Bye, 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 let's get high and ride. Oh, how we do these for them not gon' cry. I'm a bad boy killer. Jay-Z died too. Looking out for Mobb Deep. When I find you, weak motherfuckers don't deserve to breathe.
And Against All Odds, which were both on his album The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, which is commonly called Machiavelli, which was released after his death. There were also some shots on When We Ride on Our Enemies from another posthumous album, Better Days, and All Out, Die Slow. Jay-Z. Jay-Z is another artist who needs no introduction, and he also clashed with Mobb Deep, specifically Prodigy. It's no secret that both of them are from New York, and it's even more interesting that the beef began with a line from Jay's Money Cash Hoes, which was his response to New York, New York. In it, he basically said the LA track Mobb Deep was on wasn't a good enough response to what Snoop and the Dogg Pound did. After some more jabs here and there, things finally came to a head with Jay's performance of Takeover at Hot 97 Summer Jam in 2001. The song was aimed at Prodigy and Nas, and upon the song's full release, the focus of the beef actually shifted to Nas. Still, the moment of Jay showing a picture of Prodigy as a child, dressed as Michael Jackson, sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world.
Back in 88, you was a ballerina. I got the picture, I seen you. Oh!
Prodigy responded in December 2001 on the Mobb Deep album, The Infamy, on the tracks Crawlin' and The Learning. In an interview with Rap Radar in 2017, Jay confirmed that he and Prodigy were able to settle their differences before his passing.
Again, I mean, I had super respect for Prodigy. You know, in order for me to really have a problem, in order for me to spar with you, like really spar, I gotta respect you, son.
Gotta think you're
you know
nice.
what I'm saying? I gotta respect you. You know what I'm saying? I respect his. I sampled him for my first album,
Right.
so I was aware of him and had a respect for him. And we spoke. Me and him spoke before he passed.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I saw him in the club. Like I want to say, maybe 5 years ago or something like that. And he just came over and we was just like, we kicked it, and again, it wasn't about nothing. And just sad, blessings to his family.
While all the beefs we mentioned so far were kept in the booth, there were unfortunately some that got physical as well. Saigon and True Life. Saigon was an artist associated with True Life and ended up in a physical altercation with Prodigy by proxy. In 2000, Prodigy did a verse for the song When You're a Thug with True Life and Kool G Rap and was paid for it. Then, he used a part of the verse again for a Mobb Deep song called Never Going Back for the Any Given Sunday soundtrack, which actually came out before the song could come out.
Me, Prodigy, and Kool G Rap, you know what I'm saying? Shit came out alright, you know what I mean? We had a little buzz going with the record and then played itself and spit the verse on another record, you know what I'm saying? Guess he wasn't that talented and when it spit the verse on another record when we paid him for that verse already, so we ended up getting to a little controversy. He treated me like I was some funny style. Tried to holler, he played games, so I had to wake him up, let him know what I was about, you know what I mean?
True Life didn't like this, and felt like he was owed a different verse from Prodigy that he never got. Him and his people went to the studio where Mobb Deep was at, along with DJ Muggs of Cypress Hill and GZA of Wu-Tang Clan. But Prodigy and Havoc themselves weren't even there.
GZA from Wu-Tang. And I had some other friends that came down and visited me, whatever, and they was there. And we're chilling. The music's loud as fuck, dog. We can't even hear. We're like this, popping. All of a sudden, my boy walks to the door and he's like this.
You know, we ended up taking it there, man. Ran in the studio with 9 guns, two shotguns.
7 motherfuckers running with Uzis and shotguns and guns.
You know, slapped a few cats up.
This other kid over here, they pistol whipped him.
Sent the home butt naked and all that.
Kicked the shit out of him.
Showed them how we do this, man. We ain't playing no games.
They didn't even look at me. They didn't even look at GZA. You know what I mean?
A few of your favorite rappers was in there. You know what I mean? At gunpoint with guns to their face and shit. But it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no drama with them. We ain't want to just get out of hand like we was wilding for no reason. We wilding for a reason, man. You with us, man. You know what I mean?
True story, man.
We gonna wild out on you. You know what I mean? You bring it to us, we gonna bring it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how we coming, fam. Real tizzle, man. We ain't playing with this.
Dito. I got good aim, y'all.
To the razor blade.
I got good aim. It's nothing.
The gun went off and just missed them. And they robbed them all and shit. Took all their clothes off.
Then, by proxy, Saigon ended up getting into an altercation with Prodigy over the same situation. However, he wanted no parts of the entire ordeal beforehand, but did at least want to talk things out with all parties involved so it wouldn't lead to something physical.
The whole Mobb Deep walks on stage, so I knew it wasn't friendly. I'm like, why would they just walk on stage while I'm up here performing? When they about to perform later, they like the headliners and shit. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here curtain jerking, just doing my song and shit before. No, man, why are they on stage? But then I see my man Prince, who's Havoc's cousin, and I asked Prince while I'm on stage, I'm like, yo, I'm good. And he's like, yo, you good, man. Ain't no beef, ain't no problems. And Havoc, me and Havoc is hugging. If you watch the tape, me and Havoc is hugging and shit. I'm like, oh shit, it ain't no, maybe we are past all the dumb shit. So I didn't go there with the intention for trouble. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go there with no intention for trouble. And then when I'm trying to walk off stage, one of them dudes grabbed me from behind, and then that's when everything went down.
Keith Murray and Redman. While weed rap, or psychedelic rap, are subgenres that had their time in the underground limelight years ago, in the 90s, rappers outside of it did not always approve of it. On the track, The Infamous Prelude, from 1995's The Infamous, Prodigy speaks down on rappers who were into talking about their recreational habits in their rhymes and other topics, and was not a fan of them. Time of the lines on The Infamous Prelude, Keith took them as shots at himself and Redman. In the 80-bar Assassin freestyle, Keith sends several direct shots at Prodigy, calling him out by name multiple times, referencing his past at a dance school, his health condition, and more.
With me, no shape or form. And when you die with the rest of the Mobb Deep, it's on. You ain't got enough strength to even run your mouth. Prodigy, remember you collapsed on stage down south. The word is out, don't get caught in Strong Island BK.
In a 2021 interview with On the Radar, Keith Murray shared that when speaking to Havoc, he said the prelude lines weren't directed at him, but of course, the words came out of Prodigy's mouth. Still, a physical confrontation occurred.
Well, we happened to leave the tunnel at the same time. We was in the bathroom, and I was like, I told my man A+, God bless the dead, I said, yo, Plus, look at Prodigy. Fat Joe and everybody was in the bathroom. And Prodigy was like, what? I was like, what? And then they boys was like, nah, chill. We was like, my boys was like, nah, all right, cool, chill. So we happened to leave the tunnel at the same time, the club, and they was at the corner. And we was at the corner, and they was like, yeah, it's time. It was like, what? It's time? Time for what? My man Skippy, he was my man at the time, but he ain't my man no more because he ratted on my cousin and he sent him to jail for 8 years. But that's another story. Skippy snuffed Prodigy. Wham! He hit the floor. He hopped up. I started chasing him down the block, like, come here, down the block. Then I was chasing him. Then my man's axe and somebody, God bless the dead, it was the twins, their side, beat one of them under a car. And Trigger the Gambler, the rapper, saw it at the corner. And I looked at the cop. The cop said, take it around the corner. And Prodigy was there, so I started chasing him down the block, chasing him. I couldn't catch him. He said he was running to get a gun. I don't know. God bless the dead. I'm not saying nothing bad about Prodigy. We hashed that up. We talked. We was at the Jones Beach Theater. We got a picture online with Busta Rhymes. His man saw me outside. I was like, nah, Murray, come inside and see Prodigy. Hash it out. Then when he came home from jail, we talked on the phone. We supposed to go to the studio and do records. He went to Vegas. Then he died.
On the bonus hidden track for Hell on Earth, titled In the Long Run, which also featured Ty Nitty, Prodigy speaks on this exact situation, calling Keith out by name and dissing him.
Means to finish off. Keith Murray and his soul click. Yeah, you snuff me in front of the cops. That bullshit. So you come around the corner, no police and no witnesses. Little to your knowledge, you almost got shot, but that's alright though. I'ma catch your ass again, you immigrant.
Additionally, Prodigy dropped a diss line on the I Shot Ya remix, which was also released in 1995. It was an LL Cool J song that featured Fat Joe, Foxy Brown, and, ironically, Keith Murray. In his verse, Prodigy mentions Deaf Kids, and Keith Murray and Redman were in a group called Def Squad with Eric Sermon. His diss bar was removed for the music video release and is even censored on the album release.
Nosebleed. So kids feeling guilty about but you first, baby girl, so just face it.
Fortunately, Keith and Prodigy settled their differences just before Prodigy's passing. Havoc versus Prodigy. Unfortunately, even with the duo getting through all these moments together, they had a moment when they were at odds with each other. In 2012, Havoc sent out multiple tweets condemning Prodigy, claiming he was gay, and other accusations. However, he later said his account was hacked. Then, in an in-person interview, admitted the tweets had actually come from him.
Here and using this platform to get the truth out about what's going on with you guys, and it is an unfortunate situation. But one thing we didn't touch on are the tweets that went out. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, you know what I'm saying? The tweets was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that Twitter is not a place to resolve any kind of beef that you have with anybody. So I just would have to say that those are the reasons why I retracted my statement. Because, you know, I had love for the fans. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
So it was you, though?
Yeah, and I was speaking from a standpoint from, like, I was mad, you know what I'm saying? But still being, like, truthful with how I felt, but it was just the wrong thing to do at that time. Right. Because it was just like out of nowhere. That's what people thought. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that was irresponsible at the time. You understand what I'm saying? And it was a better way to roll out, you know, how I wanted to get my point across. You understand what I'm saying? And it didn't make me look good, you know what I'm saying? Because for me to have to retract my statement, and it's like, you know, sometimes you just gotta man up to it, and it's like, you know, people go through shit, and then a lot of people do be going on Twitter, and then there's a lot of people, you know, go through shit where they have to say, okay, my bad, I love Mobb Deep. And, you know, even more than that, I love the fans even more, you know what I'm saying? Because without the fans, we wouldn't be here, you know what I'm saying? So everything that I do is for the fans, you know what I mean? And right now, you know, Mobb Deep is like on hiatus, you know what I'm saying? Indefinitely, you know what I'm saying? Until things get hashed out, you know what I mean? And, you know, eventually, you know, the real story will come out. You know, there's two sides of the story. You know, only one has been spoken for up to this point.
There was also audio footage of Havoc calling Prodigy gay, which was confirmed to be authentic by Nori. Prodigy responded to all of this by saying it wasn't fazing him. In March 2013, the duo went on an international 20th anniversary tour for their album Hell on Earth, and some fans speculated the beef from the previous year was simply fabricated for publicity. Mobb Deep has had their fair share of confrontations with other iconic artists from the 90s hip-hop era. But fortunately, all were settled before Prodigy's passing. Fans can look back on these moments and reflect on where they were when it was going down, and see just how different they were from the beefs of the current day. We hope you guys enjoyed going back to the era of hip-hop where lyrics were elevating the culture and beef was inevitable. Hit us up in the comments and let us know what tracks were your favorite during these beefs and who you think came out on top. Make sure to check out these other videos and help us out by liking, sharing, and commenting. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this every week. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.